Let's start today's class. Good morning, everyone. This is basic maths. We are doing some basic concepts in maths, and in this class, we shall be dealing with something known as trigonometry. Now, how many of you know what is trigonometry? Raise your hands and let me know. How many of you know what is trigonometry? I think you have heard something about trigonometry, right? No one knows about trigonometry. Only 4 or 5 people know about trigonometry. That's not good. I think many of you would know about trigonometry. Srilata, Revan, Jamuna, Vashish, Vamshi, Bhargav. Students in the offline class, do you know about trigonometry? Raise your hands. Oh no, have you heard the word trigonometry? Offline class? Anyone? Can you see me better? That you are sitting in the classroom. Can you see me? What's your name? I'm talking to you. Can see you on the camera. You're in the offline class, right? What's your name, beta? Okay, I think something wrong with the microphone, I guess. Anyways, most of you would have heard about the word trigonometry. We will be doing some basic concepts in trigonometry. But before going on to that basic concept in trigonometry, let us talk about angle. Now, everyone knows what an angle is. Yes or no? Angle, yes? Angle. Because this angle is going to come in trigonometry. Trigonometry is all about angles and ratios and this of angle and that of angle. Now, first of all, when I go into an angle, what is the SI unit of angle? I hope you know it. The SI unit of angle. You must have heard about SI units. Meter is the SI unit of length. Meter per second is the SI unit of speed or velocity. Do you know the SI unit of angle? Anyone? You can just let me know in the chat. Do you know what is the SI unit of angle? Okay, what unit do you use normally for angles? Which is the unit that you use normally for angles? We use degrees, yes or no? We know this degrees. We know degrees for angle, right? 5 degree, 10 degree, 15 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, and so on. That is the unit that is normally used. But yes, Banu, that is correct. But beta, want to send you a message on the other ID, not this one, or send it to everyone. But we must know that radian, yes, Vivek, that is correct. Degree is not the SI unit of angle. The SI unit of angle is known as a radian. How many of you have heard this term radian? Please raise your hand and let me know. Offline class also. Bacha, you are there. Do you know what is radian? Have you heard the term radian? Anyone? Okay. Many of you have heard the term radian. Revan, Varun, Vashish, Vamshi. You have not heard the term radian? Pravina, Zaid, Jahangir, radian. Now there is a relation between radian and degrees. There is a relation between radians and degrees. Who is going to tell me that relation between radians and degrees? Relation between radians and degrees. If you know radians, then you will also know the relation that radian has with degrees. I hope everyone is noting down. I hope everyone is writing down what we are discussing. Remember, whatever we are discussing is very important. So please note that 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radians. Well done, Bhanu. I understand it's very difficult to write on the chat, but you have taken the effort of writing it. I've unmuted all of you. I muted all of you. The reason is I was getting some noise from somewhere. Someone was, Some of you would be sitting, there was a lot of background noise, and that is why I muted all of you. 180 degrees is pi radians, and that is a very important result that you must remember, and please write it down. 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. A very important result that is going to help us in doing a lot of things. 180 degrees pi radians. Or I can say 1 degree is pi by 180 radians. So using this, we can convert degrees into radians, or you can write it in a different way. 1 radian, how much is 1 radian then? 1 radian is pi by, oh, not pi by, again, mistake. 1 radian is 180 by pi in degrees. Do we understand this? Don't have to remember all the 3 results, beta. If you can just remember the first one, which is the first one, this one, the other results will come automatically out of it. 180 degrees is pi radians. That is what you got to remember. Lowering everyone's hands. Can you now tell me that you will remember it by raising your hands? 180 degrees pi radians, and this is how you highlight it. You should always highlight the important points in your notes so that whenever you want to revise them, you don't have to revise the entire topic. You just revise these important points and the chapter is done. I am not getting raised hands from everyone, so I would request all of you to just raise hands so that I know that things are going fine. Devanti, Varun, Yashashwini, everyone should be there. Great. 180 degrees pi radians. If you cannot raise hands, you can just put any icon, thumbs up, clap, whatever. So I'll know that you are participating in the class. 180 degrees pi radians. Now, based on this, I can ask you simple questions. And I hope you would be able to give me answers for that. For example, if I ask you this question number 1. Convert 30 degrees into radians. Convert 30 degree into radians, and Bhanu is already there with an answer. Yes, Bhanu, that is the correct answer. Let me give 1 minute to all of you so that I can get answers from all of you. 30 degrees is how much in radians? To get the answer, please share your answer in the chat. Pi by 6. Rohit, that is correct. Bhanu, you are also correct. Obviously, pi by 6. How to do it? How to do it? It's very simple. Who will help me in doing it? You can raise hands so I can ask you to unmute. Who is going to help me? Let me first lower all hands so that I know who is going to help me. Let's tell me who is going to help me. Vivek, as always. Yes, Vivek. Unmute yourself and tell me how it is done.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Vivek. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm looking great. Okay,
Yes,
tell
sir.
me how to do it.
Sir, first we have to take, we know 1 degree equals to 1 by pi by 180 radians. So 30 degrees equals to pi by 180 into 30, pi by 180 into 30 degrees.
Okay, just go a bit slow. Everyone is not as quick as you are. 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. We have already seen this step. So this would be your step number 1.
Yes,
You know
sir.
how much is 1 degree?
Yes, sir. Pi
You
by
just need to
180
calculate.
radians.
Yes, beta. How much is 30 degrees? So you just multiply this value by 30. So
So
30 degree will become pi by 180
into
multiplied
30.
by 30. And you will have your answers as
Pi by
pi by
60.
6. So 30 degrees becomes pi by 6 radians. Do we understand this, everyone? Can I have raised hands from everyone in the class? Whether are you on the online class, whether you're on the offline class, can you have raised hands? You just raise hands. Offline class, how are you going to raise hands? You can just raise hands visually. I can see you. Yes, that's great. So that is how you can convert 30 degrees into radians. I'll give you one more. I will give you one more so that I'm confident that you would be able to do this. And the next question would be like this, and I hope everyone can give me the answer. You have to convert 45 degrees into radians.
Pi by 4.
Okay, I got get the answer straight away. Who was that, beta?
Maitri.
Sorry, I did not get your name. Okay, the voice has gone. Anyways, Math 3, yes, Math 3. Sorry, see, if all of you start to speak, it's very difficult for me to recognize you by your voices. At present, is only 2 class old. Maybe after some days, I would be able to recognize you. Math 3 is correct. So, Math 3, help me in solving this. How did you solve it?
45 degrees is equals to pi by 180 into 45.
That is correct. So, we again start with the same thing. 1 degree is pi by 180. You know the value of 1 degree. You have to calculate 45 degrees. So basically you multiply pi by 180, multiply it by 45, and you have your answers. 45 fours are 180. So you will have the answer as pi by 4. How many of you got this? Yes, Eamon, that is correct. Please raise your hands. I'm asking all of you to raise your hands again. And let me know if you get the answer. Wow, everyone is getting the answers. That is great. That is great. Let me now ask you one last question. Well done, Hemant. I'm very proud of all of you that you are working so hard. Good. Let me then ask you one last question. One last question. And this time I'll ask you the reverse of it so that you are ready with this. 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3 is in radians angle. You have to convert it into degrees. Can you do that for me? I've written degrees. Degrees. Bhanu has come up with an answer straight away. Bhanu has been working so hard. And I want all of you to work hard. If you can work hard, beta, I'm sure JEE is as easy as your board exam or even easier than your 10 board exam. But then you will have to work harder and work smarter. I'll wait for all of you to give me your answers. I'll wait for all of you to give me your answers. I'm not satisfied with one answer. Saifuddin is giving me 60 degrees. 60 degrees, Saifuddin. Please check your answer. You might have done some mistake, some error. Hemant, your answer is correct. 120 degrees is the answer, definitely. What about the others? I hope everyone is trying. Trial is important. Answers are not. 120 Vivek, that is correct. Trial is important, not the answers. Remember, if you don't try and you just sit in the class waiting for answer to appear on the board, yes, Jahangir, that is correct. Waiting for answers to appear on the board. The answer will come on the board because I'll solve it, but that will not help you unless you try. If you try, you will understand what mistakes you are doing. If you try, you will understand what not to do. If you try, you will understand how to do it. Looking on the board may not be the best way of doing it. So let me ask anyone to raise their hands so that I can ask him or her to help me in solving this question. Who will help me in solving this question? I've got 3 raised hands. Hemant, unmute yourself and tell me how to do it. Hemant is gone. Rachana, can you help me in solving this problem?
2 pi by 3 equals to 180 by pi into 2 pi by 3.
Okay. Rachana has gone too fast, Rachana. I'm not as quick as what you are. So I'll again start. I think Rachana is meaning to say that 1 radian. Yes, Rachana, is it correct? 1 radian is 180 by pi. This is what you meant to say. See, kids are very sharp and they have a very sharp brain, and they are much more intelligent than what I am. But see, I am very slow. I'm an old person. So I need time to write. So 1 radian, bacha, is 180 by pi. I know the value of 1 radian. I just have to find the value of 2 pi by 3 radian. What do I do next? I just multiply 2 pi by 3 by this amount, which is 180 by pi, 180 by this number.
80 into 2, sir, 360.
into 2 pi by 3. Pi and pi will get cancelled. 3 6 are 80. Oh, 360 are 180, and I will get the answer as 120 degrees. That is how it has to be done. If you do some mistake somewhere, for example, instead of 2 pi by 3, you use pi by 3, you will obviously get 60 degrees. So probably that was a mistake someone was doing. Do we understand this, every one of us? Can I have raised hands that, sir, we understand this? Everyone does understand this, right? Okay, that is great. So we have come to the stage where we have understood this. Now let us move ahead and see from where this radian comes. It's important for you to see how this radian comes and how this relation comes. So now I'm going to share. Now I'm going to share. Now I'm going to share a screen with you. Well, someone has made. Just give me. Someone has made. Okay, that will not hurt any purpose. Okay. So let me go ahead and share this with you. So this is how the relation comes, and it is going to come on your screens right away. Angle in theta. Normally angle is denoted by the letter theta. Now you must be wondering what is this theta. You can call it angle A or B or C. We normally use the word theta. See this word theta, letter theta. This is the Greek alphabet. This is the Greek alphabet. As we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G in English, in Greek we have alpha, beta, gamma, theta, and all that. This is alpha. Have you seen alpha? Might have seen alpha somewhere. Alpha, beta, gamma, theta. Theta is one of the Greek alphabets, and it is used to represent the value of angle in radians. Angle in radians is represented by theta. Do we understand this? Can I have raised hands from everyone? Theta is a Greek alphabet, just a alphabet just like A, B, C, and D, and it is used to define angle. Hemant, yes, you can do by direct multiplication. You just know how much is 1 radian, 180 by pi. You know how much is 1 degree, pi by 180, just multiply. Is it clear, Hemant? So, theta is how we define, how is what we represent angle as. And remember, this representation is very important in physics and maths. You can understand everything by simply representing it. Theta is angle, v is speed or velocity, a is acceleration, f is force, p is momentum. I think you would have heard these terms, and they are represented by alphabets. We don't use Greek alphabets there, but somewhere we will be using Greek alphabets. So right now we are trying to understand what is theta. What is theta? And theta is an angle, obviously. Now, how do I understand this angle correctly? Is by this diagram. I hope you can see this diagram here. Now, what you see here is a circle whose radius is r. Do you see it, everyone? I have a circle whose radius is r. And then I have an arc of the circle. AB is an arc of the circle. AB is the arc of the circle. R is the radius of the circle. And theta is this angle that the arc makes at the center. Do we understand this? Can I have raised hands from everyone that we understand this? We see a circle of radius r. Yes, Simon, that is correct. This angle theta. This is the angle theta. So this angle theta, how do we find the value of this angle theta? We simply divide the arc S by the radius. Whatever we get here is known as your angle theta, and remember, it will always come in radians. It will never come in degrees. Do we understand this? So we write this like this: theta in radians is arc divided by radius. Do we understand this, everyone? I'm going to lower your hands first, and now I'll ask you to please raise your hands to let me know that we understand the concept of this angle theta. The concept of this angle theta comes from a circle. You have a circle. You have a circle. You have an arc of the circle. The length of the arc is S. The radius of the arc is R. If I divide S by R, I will get an angle in radians. That angle is known as your theta or your angle in radians. Do we understand this? Okay. I'll give you a minute. I want you to write it. So I'll give you a minute to note it down. The same time I had a doubt from one of the students. Let me see who would ask me a doubt. Yes, Vivek, unmute yourself. Ask me your doubt while
Hello,
everyone
sir.
else is trying. Yes.
Sir, before you written the units of uh, angle is radian or radian or degree written, sir. Radian SI unit and degree CJS unit, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, degree CJS unit, sir.
Okay. You are correct. You can always understand it in that way that degrees is the CGS unit. I just didn't want to use those terms. That's why I didn't use them. You are correct. Anything else you want to share?
No, sir.
Okay. I hope all of you have drawn this diagram, beta. This is the diagram that will make you understand the concept of the angle theta. The concept of the angle theta. I hope everyone understands this. If everyone understands this, then you can note things down from the sheet. Just reduce the size of this. Angle theta is arc divided by radius. I hope you understand this. Arc divided by radius. That's angle theta. Will come as S divided by R. I hope all of you understand this. This formula is only valid for radians, beta. It will not ever get angle in degrees from here. The SI unit is radian. 2 pi is 360 degrees. As you can see, 2 pi is 360 degrees or pi is 180 degrees. Or if you want to convert, this is how it looks like. Remember, one hint I always give you, never use things in decimals. See, in decimal, 1 radian is looking so bad, 57.3 degrees. In decimals, it is looking so bad. But if I write it in fractions, it will look like this. It is equal to pi by 180, which is easier to remember, 57.3, because if you take it as 57.3, and if I ask you to convert 5 radians into degrees, you will have to multiply 5 by 57.3. It will become a huge task. But if I ask you how much is 5 radians, you can just multiply it like this simply by 5, and you will get a very swift answer. So what I always say to my students every time is that always keep things in fractions. Do we understand this? Fractions are always easier to deal with. They are easier to multiply. They are easier to divide, and it is easier to remember them. Do you understand? Try to keep things in fractions rather than converting it into into decimals. Do you all understand this? Can I have raised hands from everyone? Oh yes, I've made a mistake here. It is not pi by 180. It is 180 by pi. Slip of tongue. So it is 180 by pi, correct? Multiplied by 5 for 5 radians. I always remember the thing that, you have to convert degrees into radians and not the other one out. So mistake. Do we understand this, everyone? That keep things in fractions rather than keeping things in decimals, because in decimals, see, remember, the maths or physics that you are going to study now, it's not about calculations. We don't want you to become a calculator. We want you to understand the concept and apply it. We want you to understand the way of solving a problem, not once you get the result, once you get the formula. After the formula, anyone can calculate it. We need you to get to that formula. Do we understand this, everyone? I hope everyone has written this. Yes or no? No or yes? Please raise your hands and let me know. Everything that I tell you, beta, should be in your notebooks. I hope that you are making notes. Making good notes is a very good practice. If you don't make notes, well, at some point in time, you will suffer a lot. I don't want my kids to suffer, so please make your notes. Now, let us move on. The name of the chapter was, great Hemant. The name of the chapter is trigonometry. Now, trigonometry deals with something known as a right angle triangle. I hope all of you have seen right angle triangle. Yes or no? No or yes? This is a right angle triangle. Yes or no? No or yes? Yes. Let me name this triangle. Let me name this triangle as A, B, and C. Triangle ABC. Now, in this triangle, there is an angle. Obviously, one angle here is 90 degrees. Everyone knows this. But then let me call this angle as theta. Again, the same theta that we had dealt with comes here. Now, if this is theta, this side becomes your base. Yes or no? B standing for base, P standing for perpendicular, and H standing for hypotenuse. I hope all of you know these terms. Yes or no? Please raise your hands and let me know that we know these terms. Yes. Hemant is adding that this angle, how much would be this angle if I call angle C? One angle is theta, one angle is 90. The third angle would be definitely how much? How
Sir,
much?
opposite.
It would be 90 minus theta. Yes or no? No or yes? Complementary
90
angles.
minus theta.
Complementary angles. Okay. Anyways, let us now talk about 90 minus theta and let us concentrate on this theta. Let us concentrate on this theta. Now, when you have this theta, bacha, you can find some ratios, and that ratios are known as trigonometric ratios. They are ratios. They are purely numbers. They don't have any units. The first ratio that we are talking about is known as sine theta. Do you know sine theta? Sine of theta. And that is always given by perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. Do we know this beta? Sine theta is perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. How many of you have heard about sine theta? Tell me. Raise your hands and let me know. Sine theta. Only 7 people have heard about sine theta? Okay, the number is going up. So please wake up.
Opposite
Please
by
wake up. This is the class. Sine theta is perpendicular by base. Who is going to tell me what is cos theta?
Cos theta equals to base
adjacent
by
by
hypotenuse.
Yes, I get a lot of noises and I understand that all of you know this. Cos theta is base divided by hypotenuse. Base, the side. This is theta. So this side becomes your base and the samne wala side, front side. Some people also call it opposite side. Opposite side becomes your perpendicular. On similar lines, you can find out the value of tan theta beta. It's just a ratio.
Opposite by
opposite by
Perpendicular by base.
Perpendicular by
opposite by adjacent.
Yes, opposite by adjacent, perpendicular by base, BC by AB. No matter how you call it, you are asking for the same thing. You are referring to the same thing. Great, all of you know this. Now I can write this thing in a different way. I can write this thing in a different way. For example, I can write this like this. Hypotenuse H is perpendicular divided by sine theta. Yes or no? But that will give me the value of hypotenuse in terms of perpendicular, which is normally not the case that we use. In most of the cases, which you will see, we'll have to find out the value of P and other two values would be given to you. So in that case, you can write this perpendicular as H sine theta. You can obviously find the value of H, but here we are not concerned about the value of H. We are more concerned about the value of P from the value of H. Do we understand this? How I written this? P can be written as H sine theta. Now, if you've understood this, you should be able to tell me how can I write the base, the value of base
Base
B.
equals to h into cos
is
theta.
equal to h into cos theta.
That is correct. On similar principles, I can write base as H cos theta. I hope all of you are following me. Then one last question. From tan theta also, I can write the value of P. Can you tell me how to write it? From
Base
tan
into
theta.
P equals to cos theta, sir.
P is equal to P tan
base into
theta.
tan theta.
Yes or no? No or yes? We understand this.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes.
you understand this, then probably we have done a very major thing that might cause trouble later on. And you will understand the beauty of what we have done, these three equations. And I like being colorful, so I use a lot of colors so that I can highlight you the important points. These are the important points. These points you already know probably. This one or the green one or the pink one, you already know. But if you can remember them in the form that I have put in the box, that is what I need at this point in time. Remember, beta, whatever we are going to do in 11th standard is not new. You have already done it. If I talk about maths, whatever maths you have done it from 10th standard up till 10th standard is going to get repeated itself. If I talk about physics, whatever things you have done in 9th standard, same things are going to come in 11th standard. Same things. In 9th standard, you had motion in a straight line. The first chapter that we are going to do is motion in a straight line. You had Newton's laws of motion. We are going to do Newton's laws of motion. You had work by energy. We are going to do work by energy. You had heat. We are going to do heat. Everything is similar. Just more things are added to it. More questions are added to it. More cases are added to it. Nothing else. Can you remember these 3 points that I've given you? Raise your hands and let me know. I first will lower all hands. Now I would ask you to raise your hands to let me know. Offline class as well, I'm watching you. Great. Great. Only 10 people are raising hands. That's not good. Okay. Great. So now I have some participation. Now what I'm going to do is give you a question just to make sure that you have understood this concept. So this is my question number 1. First of all, let me make a right angle triangle. This is my right angle triangle. I have given you this side as, let us say, 5. I have given you this side, let us say, as 5 meter or 5 centimeter, whatever. I have given you this angle as 30 degrees. Now, before going on to this question, uh, probably there was a table of the values of sine theta and cos theta. Do you remember that table? First, let me know that. Do you remember that table? How many of you remember that table of sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta? Let me see if I have it in the note that I sent you. Yes, I have that table. Do we remember that table? If you don't remember it, well, I'm going to show it now so that you can keep it with you always. This table of trigonometric ratios of standard angles comes on your screen right now. This table is made from 0 to 360 degrees. You may not remember this part of the table because this part is right now not of much use. What you got to remember is the angles from 0 to 90. How many of you remember this table? Please raise your hands. Not the part that I've got, but the part that is here from 0 to 90. Okay, most of you remember it. Angles are written here 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Then the value of sine theta is written here. Sine 0 is 0. Sine 30 is half. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. And sine of 90 is 1. On the other hand, cos is ulta, reverse of it. Cos 0 is 1. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Cos 60 is half. And cos 90 is 0. Sine by cos is tan. Do we remember this? Sine theta by cos theta is tan theta. Please raise your hands and let me know that we remember it, sir. Sine theta by cos theta is tan theta. Yes. So if I divide sine theta by cos theta, this is what we'll get. Tan 0 is 0. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Tan 45 is 1. Tan 60 is root 3. And tan of 90 is not defined or undefined. I'll give you a minute to all those students who know this table to draw this. I'll also give you a minute to all those people who do not know this table to draw it, because this is a very important table and these are the standard results that you must know. So I'll give you a minute. Please note it down. Are you all noting it down? Please note it down, everyone. And I'll give you enough time to do it. Meanwhile, if anyone has any doubt that he wants to ask, he can ask it. I'm waiting for all of you to write down that table and remember that table.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Who is this, beta?
Sir, Vivek.
Yes, Vivek. What happened?
Sir, infinity means not defined, sir.
Yes, beta?
Infinity means not defined, sir.
No, sir. Infinity means not defined. See, so if you divide something by 0, it is not defined because division by 0 is not possible. Infinity means it's a very large number.
Okay, sir.
Infinity means very far or very large. Not
Okay.
defined is not very far or very large. Not defined is it's just not defined. Cannot define it. Even infinity, what happens in infinity, you don't know. You can also call infinity at not defined, but that would be philosophical. In case of maths, something by 0 is not defined. Infinity is something divided by a very small number. That is infinite. Or a very large number divided by a very small number. But something divided by 0 is undefined. Do we understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Manu, we are doing the chapter only. Trust me. This is a part of chapter only. Because If you don't do this, beta, we will not be able to do anything in the chapter. So whatever we are doing is a part of physics. Though it may look like maths, but if you don't understand this maths, we'll not be able to do physics at all. So we'll have to do this. There's no way out. I understand that in your school, you may not do this. They will start with the chapter first of all, but that is not the way physics is taught, because even if I tell you, if I start with the first chapter, you will not be able to solve any questions in that. What is the point? There's no point of doing it. We'll have to do this. That's how it goes. Okay, I hope you have I've answered this, and I hope all of you have noted this down. Then I come to the question where I have one side as 5, the angle given as 30, and I'm asking you the value of x and y. X is the base, y is the hypotenuse, and I'm asking you the value. Who is going to tell me the value of x and y? X is the base, y is the hypotenuse. Tell me. Who is going to tell me? How much is x? How much is y? Simple things we have to do. Remember, 11th standard is a repetition of your 9th standard. In terms of physics, I'm talking. I'll give you a minute to do it. Do I have answers? Anyone giving me answers? 5 by 2. Okay. Vivek, 5 by 2 is y. What about x? What about x? So let me solve this one for you, and I hope that you can do the next one. Look at the yellow one, the base, and look at the angle. Angle is 30. Base. Do you remember the formula for base? Base B, which is x, is hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 5. 5 cos 30. You will remember this formula, beta. I just told you that formula. It was in green. 5 cos 30. Now you must remember the value of cos 30. 5 cos 30 is root 3 by 2. And that is the answer for your x. Your x is 5 root 3 by 2. Do we understand this? I've just used the formula, done nothing else. This formula you already know because you know the value of sine theta and cos theta. We had derived the formula right in front of your eyes. Let me see if we can find out the value of the perpendicular. This is the perpendicular in green. In green. How do I get the value of this perpendicular? Perpendicular is y. That is hypotenuse times sine theta. Theta is 30 degrees here. Sine 30 is 1 by 2. So the answer becomes 5 by 2. Simple things I have done. Simple thing I have taken. Simple things I have put together. And I have got a really good answer. The correct one, for that matter. Do we all understand this? Can I have some raised hands from all of you who have understood this? Offline class, just raise your hand like this. Online class, any one of you got this? It's very simple. You can lower down your hands. It's very simple. Can you do the next one for me, everyone? Can you solve the next one for me? Are you confident? That tell me, yes, sir, I can do it. The next one we will be able to solve. Yes or no? Okay. Everyone looks confident. And so I present to you the next question. And the next question is like this. I once again make a right angle triangle. Then I give you this side as not as 20. I should give it as 25. That would be better. and I give you this angle as 37 degrees. Now you will ask, sir, we don't know the value of sine 37 or cos 37. Don't worry, I'll give you that value. The value of sine 37 is given for you because you don't know it. Sine 37 is 3 by 5 and cos of 37 is 4 by 5. Now remember these values because these values are going to come in many questions that we solve. Sine and cos of 37. So you can add these values in that table. We had seen sine of 0, 0, 30. The next angle was 45. Before 45, you can add this angle of 37. You can also do the reverse of it. Sine of 53 degrees would be reverse of this 45. Complementary angles. Cos of 53 would be reverse of this 3 by 5. So you can add this 53 wala angle after 45. You can add this 37 wala angle before 45. And I'm waiting for your answers. This is the last question for the day. I'm waiting for your answers to give me the values of what? X and Y. X and Y again. There's a reason I'm calling this X because it is along X-axis. Do you remember X-axis and Y-axis? Yes. X-axis and Y-axis. X-axis and Y-axis. X-axis and Y-axis. I'm not able to draw it correctly. Something wrong. X-axis, Y-axis. What is wrong here? This is Y-axis, this is X-axis. And that is why I'm calling this side as X and I'm calling this side as Y. Okay. Do we have the answers from everyone? How much is X? How much is X? X would be equal to 25 multiplied by cos of 37. Cos of 37, the yellow one. Cos of 37, yellow one. 4 by 5. Yes, bacha, that is correct. 4 by 5. So if I multiply this, I will end up with 20. I will end up with 20. Do we understand this? I would end up with 20. So X becomes 20. What about Y? What about Y? Y becomes X, Y becomes hypotenuse times 25 times sine of 37. Sine of 37 is 3 by 5 and you get this as 50. The green one. Do we understand this? Yes or no? No or yes? Now apart from this ratios, you also know one more thing about this right angle triangle, and I am going to go back to this right angle triangle. Look at this P, B and H. There is a relation between P, B and H. Can anyone tell me what is the relation between P, B and H? Perpendicular, base and hypotenuse. Let us see what is the relation. Hypotenuse square is equal to perpendicular square plus base square. Do you remember this relation? Yes or no? Please raise your hands and let me know that you remember this relation, beta. Pythagoras theorem, it is known as, yes, Akhil, this is the Pythagoras theorem. I can write this as like this. H is equal to under root of P square plus B square. H is equal to under root of P square plus B square. I hope you remember this. I hope you remember this. I hope you remember this. An example, if this is 3 centimeters or 3, if this is 4 centimeters or 4, this will become 5 centimeters or 5. Do you remember this? 3 square plus 4 square is 25 and root of 25 is 5. Do you remember this? Yes or no? Please raise your hands and let me know. All such numbers, 3, 4, and 5, all such numbers are known as Pythagorean triplet. Do you know this term, Pythagorean triplet? Pythagorean triplet. So this is the last thing that you must know, Pythagorean triplet. Have you heard this term, Pythagorean triplet? 3, 4, and 5. 3 square plus 4 square is 5 square, Pythagorean triplet. 12 square plus 5 square is 13 square. That is also a Pythagorean triplet. So on that note, I will end up today's class. Even if you have not heard about the term Pythagorean triplet, it is okay. Doesn't matter. It's just a term. What we have done in today's class, we have seen what do you mean by an angle. We have seen the SI unit of angle as radians. We have seen that the unit that we use, someone said the CGS unit. What is CGS? We'll do that. Don't worry. The CGS unit is degrees. We have seen how radians is defined as arc divided by the radius. It comes from the circle. Then we had seen trigonometry. We had seen right angle triangle. We had seen sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. We had seen how to get perpendicular from hypotenuse. We have seen how to get the base from hypotenuse. In the end, we also got to see what is Pythagorean theorem and what are Pythagorean triplets. On that note, I would say goodbye to you. We'll meet in the next class. And remember, we are doing physics only. This part of maths is physics only because we'll be requiring it more in physics than in maths because your maths will now go to a next level, but physics wala maths will remain at your 9th and 10th level. So we'll have to revise this. I'll see you in the next class. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. Let me know if there are any doubts. I'm always available. Take care, beta, and have a good life. Bye bye.